Hi, my name's Kaylee, and this is my first ever video review, and I'm reviewing State of Decay 2 today with Pebbles. So this is a review for State of Decay 2. I recently got to play this on May 22nd when it came out, and there is a first one to State of Decay 2. It came out in 2013 on Steam. It is a zombie survival horror RPG game where you run around killing zombies, surviving, you manage a community, you have to find resources like food, fuel, medicine, ammunition, and all materials as well that you use to upgrade like your base and shit like that. So that was the first game. The second one is basically the same kind of spiel. If you don't know what State of Decay was or what it is based on, if you don't even know this game. It's made by an indie company. They're called Undead Labs. Moving on from that, State of Decay 2 just came out on the 22nd of May, and it just released on the Microsoft Store and Xbox. I don't know what Xbox version, Xbox One, I have no fucking idea because I don't play Xbox, but I play on the computer only, kind of, and my PS4 a little bit. So yeah, it came out on the Microsoft Store, which I despise a lot, even though it didn't give me any issues. I just don't like it, and I don't know why they're trying to put it into our lives. I like my Steam. So anyway, you can play pretty much cross-platform. If you have any friends who have an Xbox and you play on PC, you can play with your friends and they're on Xbox and you're on PC. So it's cross-platform, which is really cool. I think it's called Xbox Play Anywhere or something. So it's on Xbox and it's on PC only. It's not on Steam. I don't know why, but it's not on Steam. Yeah. It's apparently gonna be on Steam. There have been rumors about it being on Steam. I don't know if there will be, but if they do, they're gonna debate everybody who bought it on Microsoft and people are just gonna buy it again. So that's gonna be crappy. State of Decay 2 was supposed to be a sequel to the first one, but to me, honestly, it really wasn't, because they only really talked about a couple of the characters from the first game, and that was it. I guess it's my fault for thinking it was supposed to be a sequel and supposed to be a continuation on the story of the first one, but I don't know. I thought it would be because it's called State of Decay 2. I don't know. Maybe, but I'm wrong. So it wasn't a sequel to it, so I was kind of disappointed in that. State of Decay 2, I want to first start off saying with, is an extremely beautiful game. Graphics, phenomenal. Very beautiful for an indie company. Very beautiful. Along with the graphics being very, very beautiful, the sounds of the guns and the cars are, to me, were done very well. The guns sounded like how they should have. The cars sounded like they should have. There's some games that they just, I don't know why, but the guns sound like you're farting out of the barrel, or the cars just sound extremely fucking terrible, and I don't know why, but this game did it well. It was done very, very right, and I liked it. Just the sounds and the graphics were very beautiful. I made a list. You probably can't see it, but I made a list of things that I didn't like of this game. I'm just gonna point this out right now. These are the pros. I know you cannot read them, but these are the pros. Starting here are the cons. Here are the cons. Here are the cons. Here are the cons. Moving on from that, we're going to be talking about the pros of State of Decay that I believed were the pros of the game. These are what I could think of at hand. I just finished the game yesterday, and these are my thoughts and what I've remembered, the pros about the game. I might be missing one or two things here and there, so please cut me some slack if you're like, oh, this is good about the game too. I'm sorry if I don't remember it. I'm trying. And it's what I remember from the past few days of when I played. It took me 4 days to finish this game, by the way. It took me 30 hours to finish it. It was pretty decent length. And I paid $30 for it. I didn't get the Ultimate Edition. So yeah, the pros for this game. One pro so far is the fact that the game has co-op and multiplayer. I did not play this game, co-op or multiplayer, my first time. I played it on single player because I really enjoy playing games single player the first time that I play them, and then I play it co-op or multiplayer if I want to, if I choose to. So the reason that they made the second one was because they wanted it to be multiplayer. The first one was supposed to be multiplayer. It even had multiplayer aspects to it with the emotes and all the other things that made it multiplayer, but they didn't fully finish that. So they decided to just do it for the second game. So the co-op multiplayer is a pro. It's awesome to be able to play games with your friends. It's really fun. You can go around looting with your friends, killing zombies. So it's super fun to just go around and attack zombies and just be really badass with your friends. Overall, I found that like really, really, really cool about the second game. I was really looking forward to being able to play with my friends and just go around, you know, having fun. Co-op is always something I really liked about games, and I've never really understood why a lot of the game developers don't do it to all of their games, because everybody wants to do co-op with their friends. Another pro that I really liked was the fact that the combat had variety. In the first game, there wasn't a lot of variety. It was just kind of hack and slash, and there was no variety to the swings that you were making. There was no special. There was a couple special moves, like a throw down that you could do, or a blunt weapon specificity you could do. But this one went over and beyond with the variety of it. They had different moves. They had different specializations you could have had with certain characters. Like there was one called Swordplay, which I made one of my leaders focus on, and it was so badass. Like you could do a leg sweep and it would immediately cut off the leg of the zombie, and they would just go down to the ground, and you could just control and then left click on them and just knock them out and be dead. So that was a really, really cool thing that they did. They made the combat more, I don't know, just really, really just better in general than the first game. Another thing is I had a lot of times where I found myself struggling, which was a really good feeling in a way. I found myself struggling to keep my base alive and my community members alive. I had to maintain the food. I had to maintain the materials. I had to maintain the fuel, the ammunition, the medicine. And if I didn't, I would start freaking out. And there were times where I was actually struggling to find resources, because you can contact, I think it was the network. You can contact the network, and you basically just tell them to locate food, medicine, fuel, anything for you. And they would find it for you. You just had to go to it. There were times where you would locate them and it would be on the other side of the map, which required fuel to go get. But I didn't have fuel. So there were times where I was just really, really, really struggling. So I really liked that about the game, that it felt very challenging at times, and it wasn't easy the majority of the time, which was really good. So in this game, there's different types of enemies. There's ferals, there's juggernauts, there's, I call them jugs. There's juggernauts, there's regular zombies, which have yellow eyes, and there's plague zombies, which have red eyes. There's 4 different types, I think, unless I'm missing one. Oh, and there's screamers. There's screamers and bloaters. I'm missing those ones. Screamers are so annoying, and bloaters are so annoying too. I almost killed myself so many times because of bloaters. Bloaters, they blow up. If you run over them, if you shoot them, they blow up. And if you are in their blow-upness shit that blows up, you will lose a lot of health and lose a lot of stamina as well. Screamers, if you get towards a certain vicinity close to them, they will scream, which then contacts every single zombie in the vicinity to come and attack you when you're dead. So you have to basically kill those. Blood plague zombies, or they're called plague zombies, one with the red eyes. Those ones will increase your infection rate, which can make you very sick and give you the blood plague. And you have to cure yourself using the blood plague tissue to make the blood plague vial cure. Those ones are pretty annoying. If your infection gets to a certain level, it's kind of annoying because you just kind of be really weak, and it's just annoying. So, talking about ferals and juggernauts. In the first game, ferals did not feel too difficult. They weren't too slow. They weren't too fast. But they did a good bit of damage, and they just scared me in general, because the screams that they would make just scared me, and the fact that they run after you scared me. Juggernauts are basically tanks. They take a lot of damage. They're just these big, big, big guys with little tiny heads, and you have to attack them, and they can AoE damage you, and they just kind of slam down on the ground. They're just overall annoying. Those 2 enemies, I felt like they were actually really hard. In the first game, I didn't have really much of a challenge fighting them, I don't think. I played the first game last week, and I beat it last week, so I have all of this fresh in my mind. The first one, the ferals and juggernauts, were not too hard. This one, the ferals were extremely hard. Extremely. The juggernauts had an insane amount of health. I sat there on stream one time. I was fighting a juggernaut, and I put at least 3762 bullets into the head of a juggernaut, and he didn't go down. I was like, what? So they increased the health, obviously, in the juggernauts, I think. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm just high. I don't know. But they felt a lot more challenging than the first game. So I really like that, because I'm the kind of person that really likes a challenge when it comes to games. So referring to the first game, whenever you would drive around cars, you never really had to worry about fuel. You had unlimited fuel. Fuel was not existent in the first game. You never had fuel. I think you had to get fuel in the first game, but you never used it for cars. I think you used it just to make mollies. I don't quite remember, actually. Yeah, I don't remember, so I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But you never had to worry about fuel in general in the first game. If you had a car, you could drive anywhere. Your car would never break down as long as you didn't run over too many zombies. But in this one, you had fuel. And in this game, I found myself constantly worrying about fuel, making sure that I had it. Did I have enough fuel to get from here to there? And to a point, it was kind of annoying, but I know it's realistic. I guess I was really desensitized because of the first game having no fuel at all, and this one had fuel all of a sudden. I don't know. But I found myself constantly worrying about it. But I thought that was a good thing, but also kind of a bad thing. But it's a good thing because it's realistic, which is good. And being realistic is good in a game that's supposed to be realistic. So another pro that I really liked about this game was that there was always something that I could do in State of Decay 2. Whether it was meeting up with a trader to trade some goods and luxury goods with him and trading, again, having him give me some materials or food or fuel. It was either that or going and helping a survivor or going and helping enclaves or going out and looting for my own base or upgrading my base or fighting zombies or finding a better car or just destroying plague hearts or anything like that. There was always something to do. I never had a point where I felt really bored or I sat there and I thought to myself, what do I do now? Like, what now, you know? I hate when I have that feeling in games that you shouldn't so early on with a little amount of hours in the game. The last pro for this is that the game definitely has replayability. Once you finish the game, you start this kind of new game plus in a way. This is not spoilers at all, but I'm trying not to. But you do have like a new game plus in a way, and you get to start over. So it has replayability, the fact that you have obviously 3 different maps that you get to choose from the beginning. It's really cool to have that because not a lot of games have that replayability. You kind of play it once and then that's it. You know, you wash your hands with it and you're done. This one, it's like, yeah, you could go back, you could play again, have a different map, have a different base, have different people, different survivors, and you can play it again and enjoy it again and get a different outcome. You know, really cool, really cool. All right, moving on to cons of the game. There are a lot of more cons for me. I'm sure someone else who have played this game, they're probably going to be like, oh, there's more pros for me than there is cons. But this is my opinion of the game, okay? It's my opinion. Moving on to cons. My first con is ferals. The ferals we just talked about a bit ago, they are so fucking annoying. They are way faster in the second game compared to the first game. Oh my god. It's like the Flash, dude. Like, they sprint everywhere, and I can never shoot them, nor could I ever hit them. Maybe I'm just stupid and I suck at video games, but I don't think I do. They were just really fast. I almost said fat. They were just really fast compared to the first game. I even watched a video a bit ago to see if they were as fast, and maybe I'm just crazy. They were a lot slower in the first one. While I don't mind them being faster because it makes them a bit of a challenge, there's a difference between them being stupidly fast to the fact that to the point that I can't kill them, and just being like a good fast, you know? Like, in the first game, it was a good fast. And actually, because of the ferals being so fast and annoying, I actually ended up losing a survivor, and my only survivor in the entire game because of ferals. I ended up getting gangbanged by 2 ferals that popped out out of nowhere. And I couldn't move because they were sprinting on either side of me, knocking me down every time, knocking my stamina out, and I couldn't run up and just run away. So I ended up losing one of my survivors because of it, and I was pretty mad. I really hate ferals. I hate ferals. They need to make them slower, but they probably won't because they're not going to listen to me. So another con is the main storyline. They give you like a main storyline, and they call it the legacy quest. My main storyline, maybe I'm just unlucky, but I asked on Reddit, and there were a few people that had the same thing happen to them. But my legacy quest, it basically failed, or it got bugged. My game got to the point where it was giving you like kind of the final quest. I'm trying not to spoil here for people who haven't played the game. I'll be doing spoilers towards the end, so this will not be any spoilers. So I got to like basically the last quest for the mission, for the main quest, the legacy quest. And I initiated it, and it told me to keep someone alive, one of my community members. And I was like, okay. And nothing happened after that. And I was like, okay. So I ended up Redditing it, and there were quite a few people who had the same issue, and people were saying that either A, you had to kill your leader, or B, restart. So in my playthrough, the person I had to protect I thought to myself, okay, maybe we'll just dismiss them and just get rid of them and we'll just F this mission. You can't even do that. You can't have him go away. It'll say he insists on following you and you can't get rid of him. So my only option for my sake, to not restart the game over because of this stupid bug was to exile my community member in order to fail the quest and fail the main storyline in order to progress in my story. So that was really shitty. That's what I had to do. If anybody has that issue, just exile the person who you're supposed to protect in that mission, and yeah, it'll get fixed. I don't know if I should say this I don't know if this is a spoiler, but it will get fixed. Just keep playing. So throughout the game, you'll have random communities that are not part of yours. They'll just be random enclaves that you meet along the way. And they'll have like little separate names like the Searchers or the Freedom Spirits. Those are some names I had on mine. So you'll meet them, and sometimes they'll ask you for help. Sometimes they'll ask you for food. Sometimes they'll ask you just to help them find somebody who's missing. They'll ask you to help them build some traps or something, etc. It's a bunch of different lists of things that they can ask you for help. Whenever they ask for help, if you don't do it or help them within a certain time frame, you fail that quest, and they hate you. Or you lose a lot of friendship or a relationship with them. This sucked a lot because you never know what the time frame is. It could be 20 minutes, it could be 30 minutes, it could be 10 minutes. There was no timer on any of the missions to help them. You had to guess. So either when you got those missions, you had to do them right then and there, or do it whenever you were finished doing what you were doing, which really fucking sucked because it ended up happening to me where if I didn't help them, they ended up hating me. And there are actually a few enclaves who hated me. And if I stepped anywhere towards their little area, they'd shoot me. And I almost died a few times because of it. So that's really fucking shitty that they added that. They really need to add a timer onto those missions so that everybody knows, okay, this needs to be done in 5 minutes, or I need to see them in 5 minutes, or else it's fucked. So I really fucking hated that shit because I got into a fight with like 2 other enclaves and I ended up killing them because of it. And I could have gotten food or something from them, you know? And I thought that was really fucking crappy. So that's another con. So for this game, this one didn't really have a story as well. State of Decay 2 lacked a lot of story. If you've ever played the first State of Decay, the entire time I felt like you were working towards something. There was always this kind of mystery of the army being involved, and it kind of always left you thinking. It had a story in general. Even if it was a really low amount of storytelling, this one had an even lower amount of storytelling. The first one had more story than this one, basically. This one was random missions, which is fine. This is just my complaint. This one had random missions, surviving, getting loot, getting other survivors, helping them, and surviving. That was it. Like, to me, it felt so lazy and lackluster and just boring. I liked the first one having an actual story. It had me so excited, and that's why I was so excited about this one, because I thought it was to continue the first game's ending to this one, and it didn't. So I was like, oh, okay. So, yeah, no story, which, I mean, there is story, but, you know, it's like a kid wrote it. I don't know, man. That's just my opinion. And the ending, speaking of the story, the ending of the game. I will not talk about the ending of the game until the spoilers part of this video, but oh my gosh. Let's just say that I was extremely disappointed with the ending and the final mission. Moving on. So like I said previously, I didn't really play this game for co-op or multiplayer, nor have I even touched it at all yet. But one thing that I've heard from someone say in my stream with the multiplayer was that you can't apparently own a base with anybody who you play with on multiplayer. So let's say I play with my brother or my sister. I can't own a base with them. They come to my server or my session, I guess, and they help me find loot, and I don't even get any of that loot, apparently. I don't know. This is just what I've heard. But I've heard about you not being able to own a base together with your friends. People are saying because of the fact that you might have some random person jump in and steal all your loot and then just leave. Don't get into a co-op session with somebody you don't know. That's all I have to say about that. I don't know. But that's what I've heard. I don't have any firsthand experience on this. That's just what I've heard from people in my stream talking about it. So that's another con. I don't think it's really good. There's the whole point of having co-op is being able to work together and have a base together and get all the loot together and have the rewards together. You know, I didn't really like that. I haven't touched it, but when I do, I'm going to be really disappointed about that fact. So this game officially came out May 22nd, 2018, but there were a lot of streamers, not necessarily big streamers, just streamers in general, that received the code for State of Decay 2 for free, and they got to try it out 3 weeks before it came out. 3 weeks. So the game has technically kind of been out for 3 weeks. What really upsets me about this is the fact that it's been out for such a long time, technically, and then they had the Ultimate Edition pack, which was out the previous Friday, and then the real edition, which came out Tuesday. There's still no patch for the game. At least, not what I seen. There's no patch on the game at all yet. There's no day one patch. There have been nothing. The last patch that they have said on their website was they were aware of the fact that some people's games weren't loading. And they gave some possible fixes, but no patch. No patch yet. No patches for minor bugs that I have found, which I will later state. But apparently Microsoft Studios, who were the publishers for State of Decay 2, they've already stated that they are aware of the bugs. They are aware of the bugs and that it is their #1 priority. So I guess now all we do is just wait. So at least they're aware, but motion blur is something that a lot of people turn off as PC players. We most of the time turn off motion blur. It's like we see it, we're just like turn off. Same for depth of field. You can't turn it off in this game as a game option. In-game option, you can't. There's no option for you to turn it off in-game. In order to turn it off, you have to go into the INI files, and while it isn't that hard to do that, nobody wants to go that extra mile just to turn off something so simple. You know? Like, it should be an in-game option just to turn it off. But that's another con that I thought. I hate motion blur. Some people hate it because it makes them motion sickness, but I know a lot of the games add it because of the fact that it distracts from the fact that the graphics can sometimes look pretty bad when you're spinning. For me, there weren't that many bugs in this game. I only got 3 bugs. Yeah, I only got 3 bugs. The most common bug that everybody's been experiencing, I also experienced as well, was this little white fine line that appears on the horizon of your game, right down the center of your screen, when it's really dark and it's night in the game. Very annoying. Over time, your eyes started to ignore it because you were so freaking used to it, but that shouldn't be a thing. But yeah, that was a really annoying thing. Pretty much everybody had that bug, I believe. Another bug I had was my character, the one that I was playing, that was handling. She kept disappearing, or he or she kept disappearing randomly for no reason. They would just disappear, and they would teleport to like the street across, and I would be like, what? And it wasn't lag because I wasn't playing online. I had my session offline, completely offline. So that was a bug. And another similar bug I had was that my followers would teleport to the other side of the map sometimes with a rucksack on. They only had to have a rucksack on. If they didn't have a rucksack on, they were fine. But if they had a rucksack on, teleport. And they'd pop up when I'd just be driving. They'd pop up and just land in front of me, and I'd be like, huh? So annoying little bugs like that. It was just very annoying. I only had 3 bugs, but I know a lot of people who had a lot more bugs in multiplayer. I have not played multiplayer like I've said, but I've heard of the amount of bugs in multiplayer. Sometimes people say it's unplayable. That's all my pros and cons about the game. Overall, I thought it was a really good game. I enjoyed it. I found myself really wanting to rush the ending though, because I was kind of, I don't know, like I just got really annoyed with the game at times, and I was just like, I just want to finish this damn game. I'm done with it. Finish it and be done. But it was an overall good game. It wasn't a bad game. I honestly, I would give it a 6 out of 10. I feel like that's harsh, but there's gonna be some people who are gonna be like, oh, you're a fucking bitch. I'd give it like an 8 or a 9. It's so fucking good. What you talking about? I think it's a 6. If they fix a lot of the things that I mentioned, and if the DLC, because I know they're gonna fucking release DLC, if the DLC is a lot better and contains more of a story, my rating would definitely go up. But with just this game, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. I enjoyed the beginning of it. It was very fun, mainly because new game, new things, yay. But after playing it for a while, I was kind of like, okay. Very repetitive after a while, which you can tend to get with games like these. But yeah, I'd say 6 out of 10, definitely. That's just Keely rating. Okay, everything after this video is going to be completely spoilers. Kind of spoilers. If you don't mind, then just stay. The ending for the game, incredibly fucking stupid. The final mission, mine. It was a 2-minute fight. Literally, it was a 2-minute fight to defend your base. I had 8 or 9 people in my base, and I had to defend my base against zombies, screamers, bloaters, ferals, and juggernauts for 2 minutes. Easiest thing I've ever done in my entire life. You had to choose between all these people coming to your base, and you had to choose whether to turn them down or to take them in. And basically, the people who you turn down, they come back and they try to freaking kill you. The person that I turned down was one person. She was planning to attack me, and she was like, "You're gonna regret it." And I just shot her in the head, and she died. I was like, okay. And then you have to defend your base for 2 minutes, and then that's basically the ending of the game. Literally, it'll pan out until to a looking over the mountains. If you're playing on foothills, it'll look over the mountains, and then it'll have your leader and saying, "We did it. I knew we could do it. Now we can do this to every single town. Let's do it again." And I was just like, huh? Like, I hated the ending. Absolutely. Oh my God. I was just like, are you fucking serious? Like, this is it? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I didn't like it. But after you beat the game, you get a legacy card based off of what kind of leader you had. I had a builder. There's builder, there's sheriff, there's warlord, and there's a traitor build or a legacy that you can end with. You get a card at the end. The builder card, it gives you silent water and power for your next community that you make. So water and power gives you no threat to zombies, which to me is fucking awesome. I think that's the best card. So for the sheriff legacy card, you get high quality loot daily. I looked into the legacy loot for this one, and it looks like you get AR guns, you get SMGs, you get guns that use 7.62 and some painkillers and a manual, like a textbook of utilities, construction, chemistry, medicine, cooking, etc. It could be any one of those books. Most of it was medicine and most of it was guns and bullets. That one didn't seem kind of worth it to me. I felt like daily, like really, I'm going to get guns every day. I feel like that was kind of OP for me. I had an issue with these legacy cards. Some of them are really OP. So this is the one I have an issue with. Warlord. The Warlord perk or card, you receive a pack of weapons, ammo, and explosives in your first base. I looked into what loot you get with this one, and it's apparently the same like loot every time you use this card. It's never something different. The loot you get is 3 assault rifles. You get all of them filled. All the magazines are filled to 30 bullets, plus 300 bullets. And you get a 50 cal gun plus 30 bullets. If nobody knows this, the plague hearts in the game, you can kill the plague hearts with 3 bullets. A 50 cal gun filled with the magazine and everything, plus 30 bullets is more than enough to kill every single plague heart in the game, which is equivalent to beating the game. AKA, this card is way too OP, and I had a problem with that. I didn't like that. That was just me. I don't know. The last legacy card is 4,000 influence, and you get a friendly trader visit. I don't know if the the trader visit is once. I don't know if it's more than once. I don't know. But 4,000 influence, I thought that one was a pretty good card. I think builder and trader are pretty decent cards. Like, they're not too OP. They're nice, you know? Like, it's decent. You get a reward for beating the game, and it lets you replay the game with a little bit more of an ease. But the other two, sheriff and warlord, I was just like, what? That was my main issue about that. So that's it for the video. This is my first time ever making a video review, so I apologize if I'm extremely newbie. I've never done this in my life before. I've always wanted to review games. I know I'm fucking terrible at it. I'm trying. I want to get better at it, so I'm trying to make more videos of them and review games that I've played on my stream. So yeah. If any of you guys didn't know that I do stream on Twitch. I do play these games on Twitch as well. Like, I played State of Decay this week on my stream. It was very fun, and I had a great time. But if you did not know, feel free to follow me on my Twitch. It's the same as my YouTube. So just scroll down below, and it's also in my description. So, but yeah, this was my review. It's my first time doing it. If you do have any constructive criticism, please give away, because I would love some constructive criticism. I hope you enjoyed the video, and you put my opinion into consideration, or even just listen to me. I'd really appreciate it, or I really appreciate it if you did listen. Thank you for watching. I guess that's all I have to say.
See you in the next one.